Hello, this is Orange Cat, and this is my quick review of South Park Season 22, Episode 3, titled A Problem with Apu. Obviously, a take on the controversial, I'll say, documentary about The Simpsons called Problem with Apu that became notable several months or so ago. Let me start with some of the stuff I did like about the episode. I'll admit I liked a couple of the fecal-related puns they made, like, oh, maybe we can have a defecation lawsuit, and the concept of like, oh, everyone around you starts smelling like shit. I kind of like that concept too in general. And I like for the brief point in the middle when it looked like PC Principal, who's an intentional one note character in the show, was starting to get some type of real character development. Like, we only knew him as, oh, this guy who at all costs must enforce PC principles, like his name. But at the same time, now you have this character that's like, I really want to be a dad and I want to be involved, but I might have to sacrifice some of my personal ideals, some of my morality to be that. And what would I do to spend time with the kids? And you see this with him being the nanny and be like, well, if you have a problem with male nanny, you could deal with it. You should deal with it. And I like that. I like how he tried using his worldview to get in his kids' lives. It's just something that's just kind of touching and heartwarming. And an episode that really set itself up for that, particularly the Mr. Hanky plotline, it just shot itself in the foot, to be honest. And I'll go into that with some of the stuff I did not go like about the episode. First thing was the timing of the episode. It was like, clearly Mr. Hanky in this episode was supposed to be analog for Roseanne Barr, who has, had a controversy over the summer about using, I believe, calling one of Obama's administration officials a monkey, and the internet did not take well to that. Advertisers started polling, and Roseanne, her show, which is called Roseanne, which was the most highest rated show on ABC, got canceled for it. Well, the timing kind of made sense because the Connors, I guess what is supposed to have been season 11 of Roseanne, is going to debut this next upcoming Tuesday. But I digress. Like, it had some moments where, like, early on, it was very on the nose about it. Like, it was not subtle. It directly had him saying, look, I took Ambien last night. It made me post racist things, which is exactly what Roseanne's defense was. Or at least he didn't go on and say, I thought that bitch was white, I guess. So it wasn't exactly like Roseanne, but it was very similar. And it dragged on with this. Like, with the promo where they're showing, like, the hearing, you would expect, okay, this is going to be a very Kavanaugh-inspired episode. But you just had one scene kind of towards the middle end. It was like a very brief scene that referenced this. Other than that, it just kind of played similar to the thing where Roseanne, where she tried clarifying her statements, but just digging a bigger and bigger hole to the point where she's just now trying. I think right now she's trying to get out of the picture. I think she said she's going to be in Israel when the Connors premieres. I haven't paid much attention to that scenario, so I don't know exactly. But anyhow, yeah, they brought it on with this point. Like, it was like 5 different times he joked saying, look, I took Ambien last night because I couldn't sleep. And it just dragged on with the same joke 5, 6 different times. And that was the problem with the A plot, was that it took forever to get anywhere. Like, from him getting fired to the Kavanaugh hearing inspired segment, you had like 5, 6 minutes of plot right there of him trying to find a lawyer, trying to get Kyle to be his lawyer, and just brought it on very, very slowly. And also just kind of like the ending, like the ending actually was not really the ending. I mean, like the scene where he tries to bring up Christmas spirit. It was an okay scene because he had like, but it was at the same time not exactly sure what he was trying to say. Like, you had Mr. Hanky try to get everyone back, and everyone immediately jumped to his side immediately off the bat. Like, they were clapping along. They were really liking this Christmas performance. But then, the PC babies, which were PC Principal and Strong Women's Children, started crying because he mentioned something about it's the time for Christmas. He mentioned some, I guess what's typically considered religious stuff, like peace on earth, joy to the world and stuff. And they cried. And then you had the bit with the people like, sorry, you have to speak up. You have to say it over the PC babies, referencing, the type of people that go around angry, scream whenever Trump says anything, regardless how innocuous it may be. And then you had like this hilarious. It's like, what are they crying about now? Oh, sometimes they don't even know what they're crying about. And I thought that was pretty funny. And then he just snapped and got angry at Kyle. And it's like, they should have picked one specific side to this. Because, like I know, this is a show that makes its living off of ridiculing both sides very well. So you could have been like, oh, Mr. Hanky was acting like a piece of shit, and the babies were crying, reacting to him being a piece of shit, which would have been saying, well, people are acting this way because you're being an asshole, you're being a piece of shit, so what you get justified. Or he could have chosen, hey, look, he's a man, he's trying his best, and look, they're just crying over nothing, we've all moved on. But they didn't choose out of those routes, they chose this weird middle route, which means that which means they had to not kill off, but they sent away Mr. Hanky in the end. And a scene that like could have been really well done and emotional, but it just felt so weird. Like not in a way like oh it's so weird. This classic character is leaving the show forever. It was just like they were clearly writing this for the Simpson joke in the end, which made no freaking sense too. Like, have you watched an episode of Simpsons lately? It's not exactly this overt racist, we love Trump type show. I mean, not at all. So and they've taken shots at The Simpsons before, of course. But I mean, I think that's something that's going to piss off the Simpsons core fan base. I think at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to be received very well. Though I just like the end. I'll admit, I like the part at the end where it said hashtag cancel the Simpsons. Just be trolls. If that was purely done to be a troll move, I congratulate them because they're going to incite a hell of a firestorm tonight and tomorrow morning with a lot of people being really riled up about that. Uh, but in general, it was an okay episode. It was not as good as last week's episode, but I can definitely see where this episode was trying to go, I guess, and definitely knew what it was ridiculing, what it was parodying. But at the same time, I feel like it didn't get its point across very well because it was trying to hit all these different things. And like I said, the Roseanne thing isn't necessarily as topical anymore. Like if they had this back, I think it was like May or June when she started doing those tweets, it would have been very topical. But it's been a few months, and it's just like I said, South one of its prime things about its quick turnaround date is that it can do something from like this past week, which the Kavanaugh reference definitely showed they could have done that. But at the same time, I feel like this episode could have been so much better with the material they had. And in general, I'll give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. What do you think? Please comment below if you like this content, if you want to hear more videos, if you want to hear my voice. I don't know why you would want to hear my voice like this. It's kind of weird and nerdy. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification button. And I am Orange Cat. And that is